The humid air of the Amazon had always been Elias Thorne's adversary, but now a new element had entered the volatile equation: silence. Not the fearful hush of the guardian, nor the mind-bending stillness of the obsidian idol, but a profound, unnatural emptiness. Birds fell from the sky, unmoving. Insects, usually a deafening chorus, were gone. The rivers, once teeming with life, carried only still, bloated fish. The jungle was dying, and Elias, his face etched with a new, weary grimness beyond his familiar scar, knew it was a wound he couldn't simply hack through with a machete. He followed the whispers, ancient tales told by terrified tribesmen, of a shadow that swallowed life, a creeping dread born from the deepest, oldest parts of the jungle. But with these fears came another, more impossible legend: the Yakumama Uma, the sky bear, a creature of light and fury, the jungle's last protector, slumbering in a hidden Aerie. Elias wasn't looking for a mythical beast, not consciously. He was tracking the Blight, the source of this spreading death. His current companion was a rusted, barely functional shortwave radio, crackling with intermittent distress calls from far-off scientific outposts that were now eerily silent. He found himself near a towering plateau, its sheer rock faces scarred with what looked like ancient, impossible carvings. As he ascended, clinging to roots and cracks, the air thinned, and a strange, crystalline hum grew stronger. He was nearing the Aerie. "Impossible," he muttered, pulling himself onto a narrow ledge, his fingers bleeding. But then he saw it, a massive cave mouth, almost perfectly circular, glowing with a soft, ethereal blue light. And inside, a colossal form, breathing in slow, majestic rhythms. He crept into the cave, machete drawn, prepared for anything but what he found. The cavern was vast, adorned with shimmering crystals that pulsed with the blue light, illuminating intricate carvings on the walls. Images of winged beasts soaring above ancient cities, battling shadowy, grotesque figures. And in the center, curled in sleep, was the sky bear. Imagine a Kodiak bear, but twice the size, with fur like midnight blue velvet that seems to absorb the light around it, yet shimmer with faint, silver bioluminescent patterns. Its eyes, closed in slumber, are a deep, intelligent amber. From its mighty shoulders sprout enormous feathered wings, iridescent like a macaw's plumage, but scaled for power and speed, easily spanning 50 feet when open. Ancient glowing runes are subtly etched into its claws and the bridge of its nose. It exudes a primal, benevolent power, but also immense, terrifying strength. Elias stood in awe, the machete forgotten. This wasn't a monster, it was a living myth. The air around the bear hummed with life, a stark contrast to the death outside. As he moved closer, drawn by an irresistible force, a deep rumbling started within the cave. The sky bear's amber eyes slowly opened, fixing on Elias with a gaze that was both ancient and deeply intelligent. It didn't growl. It merely tilted its massive head, its iridescent wings shifting slightly, kicking up gusts of wind. A silent, telepathic pulse entered Elias's mind. Not words, but a feeling. The shadow stirs. It hungers for the heart of the green. You carry the echo. You are needed. The cavern floor trembled violently. Outside, a guttural roar, wet and decaying, ripped through the jungle. Elias scrambled to the cave mouth. What he saw defied all reason and hammered a cold spike of terror into his heart. This enemy is not a single zombie, but a monstrous amalgamation. Picture a grotesque, colossal titan, easily 50 feet tall, composed of hundreds of decaying, entangled human and animal bodies, fused together by black, fibrous tendrils and dripping green ichor. Its skin is a patchwork of rotted flesh, exposed bone, and fungal growths. Its limbs are disproportionately long and powerful, ending in claws that drag through the earth. Its head is a nightmare of multiple screaming faces, but dominating them is a single, gaping maw filled with razor-sharp, obsidian-like teeth. From its rotting flesh, smaller, identical, but human-sized Umbrals continuously spawn, crawling, shambling horrors. It moves with a slow, grinding inevitability, an unstoppable force of corrupted life. The Umbral Maw was tearing a swathe through the jungle, leaving a trail of black, sterile earth. Smaller, shambling horrors, the Umbrals, crawled from its rotting flanks, spreading the blight. It was heading directly for the plateau. "It's the Blight," Elias gasped, turning back to the sky bear. The bear was already moving, its vast wings unfurling, showering Elias with shimmering dust. The air thrummed with raw magic. "Ride!" The telepathic command resonated in Elias's mind. "To the heart, where the ancient power sleeps." Without hesitation, Elias scrambled onto the sky bear's massive back, clinging to its velvet fur as its powerful legs pushed off the cavern floor. The liftoff was a thunderous roar of displaced air and ancient magic. The sky bear launched itself from the Aerie, its iridescent wings beating with impossible power, sending Elias plummeting through the air before they stabilized. Below, the jungle churned with the horrific advance of the Umbral Maw, its multiple heads roaring in unison as it caught sight of them. The smaller Umbrals swarmed like ants around its feet. Elias clung to the sky bear, marveling at the sheer speed and agility of the creature. He felt a surge of ancient power radiating from its body, protecting him from the mind-bending fear below. The sky bear soared over the destruction, heading deeper into the blighted zone, towards a massive, crumbling pyramid that had been invisible from the ground. Its top glowed with a faint green light, the very source the sky bear had called the heart of the green. As they approached, the Umbral Maw roared again, a sound of frustrated hunger, and launched a grotesque, pulsating glob of green ichor from its maw. The sky bear banked sharply, the projectile splattering harmlessly against the trees below, dissolving them into black sludge. The sky bear landed silently on the crumbling, moss-covered steps of the pyramid. The air here was thick with the stench of decay and something far older, ozone and ancient magic. The pyramid was half swallowed by the blighted jungle, its entrance a gaping maw of black stone. Elias dismounted, his legs trembling from the ride. "The heart is within. The maw will follow. Time is short," the sky bear urged, its gaze fixed on the menacing approach of the giant zombie-like creature. Elias pushed into the pyramid, the air instantly colder, heavier. The walls were covered in glyphs and carvings that pulsed with a faint, inner light. The passage descended into darkness. He lit a flare, its red glow revealing a sprawling labyrinth of chambers and corridors. This was a library, a treasury, a tomb, all rolled into one. He passed through rooms filled with intricate jade globes, obsidian daggers, crystalline scrolls, living murals, amulets of petrified moss. He knew he had to find something specific, guided by the sky bear's telepathic urgings, a desperate feeling of urgency. The pyramid began to rumble. The distant, wet roar of the Umbral Maw was getting closer. He wasn't alone in the labyrinth. Shadows detached themselves from the walls, taking the form of grotesque, smaller Umbrals. They shambled towards him, their decaying forms dripping ichor, their eyes burning with the blight. Elias fought, the machete a blur against the shambling horrors. He didn't just hack, he moved with a frantic desperation, fueled by the sky bear's distant, guiding thoughts. He knew he was buying time. He pushed deeper, driven by an instinct beyond his own, into a central chamber. Here, a single pulsating object rested on an altar of rough-hewn stone, a fist-sized orb of swirling emerald energy humming with a power so immense it felt like the very heartbeat of the jungle. This was the heart of the green. As he reached for it, the main passage exploded. The Umbral Maw, having smashed through the outer defenses of the pyramid, now filled the cavernous entrance, its multiple heads roaring. Its massive limbs, dripping decay, were too large to enter the chamber, but smaller Umbrals poured in, relentless. Elias snatched the orb, its energy surging through him, invigorating, terrifying. It felt alive. He heard the sky bear's voice clearer than ever. "Combine the ancient power. Fight the shadow at its source. I will meet you at the summit." Elias raced through the labyrinth, the orb of primeval growth glowing in his hand, repelling the smaller Umbrals with pulses of green light. He felt the ancient magic surge through him, making him faster, stronger. He reached the central shaft, a vertical tunnel leading directly to the pyramid's summit. He began to climb, pulling himself up ancient, precarious footholds, the pyramid groaning under the weight of the Umbral Maw below. As he emerged onto the summit, the scene was apocalyptic. The jungle below was a swirling vortex of black blight. The Umbral Maw, now fully exposed, dominated the landscape, its grotesque form radiating pure corruption. And soaring high above it, a beacon of defiant life, was the sky bear, its iridescent wings beating against the dying sky. The orb, Elias! Project the power! Elias raised the orb of primeval growth. He felt a connection, a surge of energy through his body. He focused, channeling the power, and a brilliant emerald beam shot from the orb, striking the Umbral Maw. The creature shrieked, a sound of 1,000 dying voices. Where the beam hit, green fire erupted, consuming the decaying flesh. But the maw was vast, slowly healing itself, sending smaller Umbrawls scrambling up the pyramid towards Elias. The sky bear's fury. Suddenly, a shadow fell over Elias. The sky bear landed on the summit, its eyes burning with amber fury. It swiped a massive claw, sending the climbing Umbrawls tumbling into the abyss. Elias clung to its fur. "We fight as one!" The sky bear roared, a sound of ancient thunder, and took flight again, Elias clinging to its back. This was the true battle. The sky bear, with Elias in the orb, became a mobile fortress of light and fury. Elias, guided by the bear's telepathic connection, pulsed the orb's power, sending waves of emerald energy that withered the maw's corruption. The sky bear raked its massive claws across the creature's decaying flesh, its glowing runes burning into the blight. The Umbral Maw retaliated, thrashing its enormous limbs, trying to swat them from the sky, spitting corrosive ichor. Elias steered the orb, sending concentrated beams of green fire into the maw's exposed, festering core. The creature roared in pain, its body slowly shrinking, decaying faster than it could regenerate. The heart's embrace. With a final, desperate roar, the Umbral Maw tried to grasp the pyramid, to shatter the heart of the green. But the sky bear was too quick. It swooped down, its powerful body slamming into the monstrous form, driving it back. Elias, seeing his chance, channeled every ounce of energy into the orb. A blinding, pure emerald beam, thicker than a tree trunk, erupted from his hands, striking the gaping maw of the creature, directly into its corrupted core. The Umbral Maw exploded, not with gore, but with a terrifying implosion of black light. The hundreds of bodies that formed it shrieked one last agonizing chorus, then collapsed into a pile of black dust, which was instantly absorbed by the now healing jungle floor. A wave of clean, vibrant green energy pulsed outward from the pyramid, revitalizing the blighted trees, bringing life back to the river. The air cleared, filled with the returning chorus of the jungle. Elias, exhausted, slumped against the sky bear's powerful neck. The orb of primeval growth dimmed, its energy spent, then crumbled to dust. The sky bear turned its massive head, its amber eyes looking at Elias with gratitude and profound wisdom. "You are the echo. The heart lives because of you. My watch is ended. For now." With a final majestic beat of its iridescent wings, the sky bear launched itself into the clear blue sky, soaring higher and higher until it disappeared beyond the clouds, leaving Elias Thorne alone once more. He looked at his hands, expecting to see the golden shimmer, but there was only the familiar dirt and sweat. The jungle had been saved, but Elias knew, with a chilling certainty, that this was just one chapter in an endless, terrifying story. His penance and his destiny had just begun.